Okay. Hand cleaner. Have you had any facials before, like at all in the past?
I have, not very many. I've had,
Okay.
I think, 3 total ever.
Okay.
And I've loved every single one of them.
And the last time, when was the last time?
It was right after our wedding, which was last September. So I think a year and a half, a year and a third ago. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And your past facials, what type of facials were they?
They were the basic level. I
Okay.
think typically they were called like hydration or nourish or something like that.
Okay.
I've never done like the upgraded.
Anything special?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were wonderful though.
And where did you get those types of facials?
One of them was at Pkwy, I think.
Okay, right up the street?
Yeah, and then the
Okay.
other one was in Friendswood, and I'm having trouble remembering the place because it's like they have a whole bunch of people that work there, and they have like a studio inside of the building, but
Okay.
I think it's called Bellissimo.
Okay.
You know that one?
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, that was it. If that's in Friendswood, that's where I went.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Friendswood. Yeah, that's it. So that's good. We're just gonna start your cleanse off with an oil cleanser. Get any moisturizer or any SPFs or anything that you have on your skin, makeup, we'll get all that off.
Perfect.
And then we'll go into a more customized cleanse for you. Do you wear makeup regularly or at all?
I don't. I wear it like once a month for an event, but I don't daily.
Okay.
I used to, and then I realized it made my skin even worse than it was, so
Right.
I do not anymore.
Not really necessary.
Mm-mm.
I think everybody can have beautiful skin without the makeup.
Definitely.
So I think that's great. Now, let's go over your at-home routine.
Sure.
How does that go?
I use either a charcoal based, it's like a bar cleanser, or a lavender foaming, like, I guess it's just like facial wash. It's from a lavender company in the hill country.
Okay.
I love it. Lavender responds really well to my skin, so
Okay.
I like using that one.
Mhm.
And then I have a toner from Beauty Counter, and I use a moisturizer from Beauty Counter that I love. It's like what is it called? It's an overnight one, and it's supposed to be like responsive to your skin. I wish I could tell you the name of it, but it's from Beauty Counter. And I started using it like 2 years ago, and it nourishes my skin. It keeps it from being dry, but it also doesn't make me look greasy, so I appreciate that very much.
Okay. Perfect.
And then I have some face masks that I'll use occasionally if I'm taking care of my skin, but I don't use them every day.
Okay. Any exfoliants?
So I got one for Christmas, and I've only used it twice, but it's the Ordinary exfoliate. Oh, I don't know what to call it.
Is it which one? Is it the serum red one, or
No,
is
it's
it
not
like
red.
a physical exfoliant? Or
I
is it a
believe
chemical
so.
exfoliant?
Oh dear, maybe it's chemical because
Does it have granules in it?
No.
Okay, so it's a chemical exfoliant most likely. But you're not sure the name.
I'm not. I could tell you after because I can ask my
Okay.
mom, or I can tell you when I get home.
Okay, so before that, were you exfoliating your skin at all?
I wasn't, not chemically, and then physically I would just I have like little cotton pad things, and I would use that whenever I cleanse to kind of like exfoliate with that, but nothing like more than that. And I'm trying to remember. It's the Ordinary, and it's one of their chemical exfoliants. And my mom said that when she got it for me, they had one that was super gentle, and this one is the one up from that. I don't know if that's helpful in deciphering which one it is, but
If it's a newer Ordinary product, I probably wouldn't be too familiar with it.
okay.
I kind of know the basics. Like today, there's like so many products and new lines and stuff popping up everywhere all the time. I went into Sephora the other day, and I'm like, where did all these products come from? It's just crazy. So now we're doing a little salicylic cleanser. We just added a little bit of salicylic in with a regular gel cleanser so that it's not too harsh on your skin, but very effective for breaking down any extra oils and killing some bacteria lightly, you know.
I would love any advice that you have on like the right cleanser for my skin, because I know that the cleansers I use are not like fancy, and I would love any advice that you have for my kind of skin.
Yeah, so your cleanser choices right now, are those two cleansers you pick between those every morning and night, or do you have a different one that you use in the morning time, a different one you use in the evening?
It's just whichever one, like whenever I
What you feel
shower.
like?
Yeah, if I
Okay.
shower, I use the bar one, and then if it's not in the shower, then I'll use the foaming one.
Okay. The only thing about the bars, sometimes they're a little too stripping.
Sure.
That's usually the issue we have there. Do you know which charcoal one you have?
It's from the brand Shea Moisture, I believe.
Okay.
Do you know that one?
Yep.
Yeah.
I know just exactly what you're talking about. So that can be a decent product if you use it like very not so often.
Okay, definitely.
As an everyday cleanser, it's a little bit too much.
Sure.
Unless you have like extremely oily skin.
Not so much. That might be why my skin is dry in parts.
Yeah, it does dry out a little excessively. Just between it being a bar soap and how they have to formulate a bar soap, and then on top of it being a charcoal cleanser, it's just kind of a lot for the skin.
Sure.
To deal with that every single night or a morning whenever you're using it. The other cleanser, since it's a smaller company that makes it, I'm not exactly sure what kind of
Sure.
surfactants they use in their cleansers. The lavender, like you said, your skin seems to love lavender, so that can be very helpful, of course. But once again, if it has too harsh of surfactants in it, it can once again be stripping on your skin. Usually smaller brands don't go with the harsh surfactants, so that is something that it has on its side. But for an everyday cleanser, a simple gel cleanser would be great for your skin.
Yeah.
Something that doesn't have harsh sulfates or other surfactants that are overstripping, and have tons of options I can show you
I would love
and
that.
talk
That's
to
awesome.
you about. So we can definitely do that. Your cleansing, I would say, probably is the best way to improve your routine right now. Your toner, you said you were using, do you know what type of toner it is, or?
It's from Beauty Counter, and I know that it's the one in the gray bottle. I don't know if they make any other ones than that. Do you mean like ingredient, or like
is it hydrating? Is it brightening, exfoliating, or?
I believe it's labeled brightening.
Okay. I'm not familiar with that product.
Sure.
But brightening could be decent for your skin, as it can help with preventing more scarring or pigmentations in your skin, lifting sun damage, things like that. Obviously, scarring is kind of your biggest thing to work on. You don't really have active acne anymore, which is great.
Yeah.
Did you ever do any oral prescriptions, or
Yeah,
you did?
I did, and they were not the right thing for my body. I reacted horribly to them, so it wasn't for very long. But my dermatologist tried everything, and that was the last thing they tried. And then they ran out, and they were like, "Okay, well, you can do the
Accutane.
Yes, that was the last, and I was like, I'm not doing that. So
Yes.
I just
So you did
go with it.
doxycycline.
I believe that was what it was called. I tried like every ointment ever, and then they had me on 2 different pills, and I responded really badly to them. So
Yeah, the pills they usually do are antibiotics.
yes,
Yeah,
that's what it was.
doxycycline's like one of the main ones that they always start with. Spironolactone, I think, is the other one.
Yep.
That is usually really popular. And then if you don't respond to either of those, they'll try birth control sometimes. If
I did
birth
that
control
too.
still doesn't work, then they'll go to Accutane.
Yep.
And if you get to Accutane can be very helpful for a lot of people. There's a lot of estheticians that hate Accutane. There's a lot of people that hate Accutane. But me personally, for people that have really cystic acne and that can't find relief with anything else,
Absolutely.
I think Accutane can be a very viable asset for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think it has its place. But very small, very, very small percentage of people should actually be on Accutane. People are overusing it these days, and they'll have mild cases of acne and they'll go to the dermatologist.
Yeah.
And there's dermatologists that will prescribe it for mild cases. I don't know if they just do it just to make the client or patient happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a couple clients like that. But to each their own.
Yeah.
It can be very harmful on your body. It's a lot. You got to do your monthly blood test. It's quite a bit to keep up with. But like I said, it can be very helpful for a lot of people. So
yeah,
it has its place. Okay, now that your skin is cleansed, how's it feeling?
it feels wonderful.
Feels better already, huh?
Oh yeah.
Anything that a nice cleanser can start off a good facial is the best part. I already can see reduction in the inflammation underneath. That redness that's underneath your surface of skin, it's really just from like too much harsh surfactants and
bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you. And also too much just stripping of your skin really most of the time, and not enough hydration putting back into your skin. I would say 90% of the time that's what's occurring, and that's why your skin's a little stressed under the surface. Now there's 10% of people and 10% of the time where people really do actually have sensitive skin, and you can just touch it like this and it'll turn red.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but for the most part and for most people, the stripping of the skin, not hydrating enough, things like that is usually why there is underlying inflammation, underlying redness. The skin just looks a little ruddy. So we will focus on that, get that under control. We'll start with some exfoliation.
Do you think that a physical or chemical exfoliant would be better suited for my skin?
So they both have their place. I usually always opt for chemical just because it's a lot easier on the skin. You don't have to worry about making the skin more inflamed or hurting it. As long as you're using proper chemical exfoliants at the right percentages. Physical exfoliants are great though if you do have like actual skin that needs to be exfoliated off, like you can see dead skin on your surface. A light exfoliant, light manual exfoliant or physical exfoliant can be helpful at just removing like that extra dead skin. Otherwise, chemical exfoliants are really good because they just go in there and they'll break down those skin cells, just exfoliate it off, speed up that renewal a little bit more than it naturally is already happening. But honestly, exfoliation has become like this thing that everybody wants more and more and more of, when you really don't need that much. Your skin has a natural desquamation process, and if your skin's healthy, it has enough hydration, it's at its optimal levels of health for everything, it will have desquamation happen at the right moment and it will look great, period.
That's awesome.
You'll need very light exfoliants just to be able to speed it up a tiny bit, but you don't need to do too much in order to get it there.
Yeah.
There's cases where people have like hyperkeratinization or something like that, where they do actually have to exfoliate a little bit more often because their skin does produce skin cells faster, and you don't want those skin cells to get stuck in the follicle, create more acne, things like that.
Yeah.
So for a select population, it is useful to exfoliate more often, more heavily.
What is your recommended like applicator for cleanser? Because right now I have, it's like one of those electric bristle brushes, but it's not an electric one. It's just a handheld one. And I've always wondered about the electric ones. I'm like, is that the best way, or like, what do you recommend for cleansing?
Your finger pads honestly are enough.
Okay.
So you can use your hands, no problem.
Okay.
And that is plenty cleansing. If you want, the one you have currently is better. When you get to the electric ones, you start getting into areas of you can like micro tear the skin because
okay.
they're doing a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Because that goes back to the exfoliating too much and
Yeah.
just cleansing too much and doing all of that. And like they've really complicated the whole process. If you have a good cleanser, your finger pads are just plenty to get that cleanser worked into the skin.
That's
The
awesome.
thing that I would be more worried about is cleansing your skin for long enough. So doing a full 60-second cleanse is where it's gonna be more important than using a automated brush or something like that.
That's helpful. That smells incredible.
Yes.
It smells like coffee or something.
This is a cocoa enzyme.
Oh my gosh, it smells so good.
Yeah, so you're smelling cocoa there. Cocoa's great because it's a natural antioxidant. It also has great anti-inflammatory properties. And it is in a triple enzyme blend. So it is exfoliating your skin, eating all the dead skin cells, while that cocoa's going in and helping to reduce inflammation and calm your skin down. It's also great for decongesting your skin.
It smells like brownies.
But yes, the scent is the best part.
Oh my gosh.
Have you ever had any chemical peels or anything like that on your skin?
I haven't.
Okay.
Unless it was in a facial and I didn't know that, but I've never done that otherwise.
Okay, yeah. In a facial, they may have used like a chemical exfoliant. The one we're doing now is considered a chemical exfoliant.
Okay.
Just because it's not using any physical beads, it's using enzymes, which some estheticians and people will argue that enzymes are in their own category and they're not chemical exfoliants, they're enzyme exfoliants. But for the sake of conversation, I just call it chemical exfoliant.
Yeah.
But yes, so some will use enzymes during facials or even light acids to exfoliate the skin during a facial. But yeah, any actual chemical peels are usually quite a bit stronger and will exfoliate the skin on a deeper level, which can be very useful. Do you have any tingling sensation at all on your skin?
No.
Okay.
My skin feels great already.
Yes.
Like right in the beginning, and my skin is already like, woohoo!
It happens so fast. Okay, now I'm going to give you a little wrap on your skin. What this is going to do, it's going to lock in all that heat so the enzyme can process more evenly and a little bit faster.
I feel it.
Yeah.
Toasty.
Yeah, it gets hot quick. Do you feel any sensation now?
A little bit on my nose.
Okay. You may start to feel a little bit pick up here and there. That's normal. If anything becomes uncomfortable, just let me know, okay?
Sure.
Alright, I'm going to wrap your skin with a warm towel as well. So just do the same principle of adding heat. Is that alright? Okay. Did you have any sensation increase? No?
It just feels cozy.
How long did you deal with acne?
Pretty much from the time I was in 3rd grade to like 2
Third
years ago.
grade?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was awful. I got it early and it got really bad, and then they tried all the topical stuff, and I think it was in late junior high or high school they tried the oral medication for it, because topical just wasn't doing enough. And then the oral medication made me throw up, so that was not an option. And I don't remember if he did anything else. I think it was just like, well, you can do Accutane or we can keep doing topical, because we also tried birth control and it gave me too many other symptoms and it didn't really fix my acne. So that was not an option either. And it got kind of manageable for high school. It was pretty okay. And then in college, I had a whole bunch of health issues at the same time. And I had like, one of them was not a full-on surgery, but I had 3 procedures slash surgeries within a year. And just internally, I think my body freaked out, so my acne got worse than it's ever been in my whole life. And it was just, I literally had cysts all over my face, and it was miserable. It was awful.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
And thankfully, with like my health has gotten better, and it's just more balanced inside, and my skin reflects that because my skin is so much happier now.
Yeah.
It was stressful because I was like, what is happening?
And once you're stressed and your cortisol levels go up, and then your hormones get disrupted, and then more cysts, and then it's a constant cycle. I know.
It was awful.
And what you do now with your calming and your stretching and your yoga and all the stuff that you do that just calms your mind.
Absolutely.
Definitely helps your skin out a lot.
It was crazy. I just had so many of them, and like I would get in the shower and like not even touch my face, just the water hitting it would make it hurt so bad.
Yeah.
That sucked. I'm so grateful that that's not the case anymore.
I hate that you had to go through that.
Me too.
And you didn't have somebody like me to help you.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Because we could have done a lot for your skin back then.
That was like desperation. I was like, okay, what can fix my face?
Yeah.
And I think it really was just my internal health getting better that helped. But
100%.
I also started using essential oils on my skin during that time, and I think it helped. It helped some, and then it just continued to get better and better, like once my health improved. But lavender again helped me a whole lot. And
did you use a carrier oil, or
I did. I think it was grapeseed or like jojoba or something like that. Yes, thank you. I've never heard somebody say that word, so I didn't know.
Yeah, everyone says jojoba. Don't worry.
That's so funny.
But yeah, jojoba is really nice because it's very similar to your skin sebum composition. Putting essential oils directly on your skin is usually not recommended. Yeah. But when you put in a carrier, it makes it a little bit more tolerable, but still not completely recommended. Yeah. But lavender is great because it's going to help you with the inflammation, and it's also antibacterial. So it did help you a lot. Yeah. And I'm sure get you back on the right track.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, essential oils for the nervous system calm you down a lot. So that can take your cortisol levels down, which then can help balance your hormones. It's like a whole cascade of events that can occur from those just small things that you don't directly understand what mechanisms it's hitting, but it is working for your skin. That being said, we don't have to use essential oils anymore on our skin.
Yes, absolutely. I don't anymore.
Because we have a lot more options. Your skin looks great already.
It feels wonderful.
We're going to do some extractions, and then we are going to get on to some more masking.
I had a question and then I lost it. Let's see if I can find it again.
So you're gonna feel some pressure, of course. Let me know if anything is uncomfortable. Okay.
Oh no, I'm used to this very much. Oh, I remember what my question was. I was gonna ask you what your biggest recommendations are for scarring, because like this is, how old was I in 3rd grade? I don't know how old you are. 9. This is a lot of years of scarring.
Yeah, 3rd grade is about 8 years old.
So that's like almost 20 years of scarring. So what are your biggest recommendations for?
Biggest recommendations. a topical vitamin A
Mm-hmm.
and vitamin C. 100%, everybody should be on it, especially though if you're trying to fix scarring. So vitamin A is gonna help to break down the scars, produce more collagen elastin to remodel your skin a little bit on the inside. The vitamin C is a very crucial component though, because the fibroblasts need to feed on the vitamin C in order for it to really work optimally, as well as a lot of other skin cells. So synergistically, vitamin A as your retinoid with your vitamin C is going to be very, very, very helpful to your skin overall. Not just for scarring, but for everybody.
Yeah. Is that like a serum, or what is that typically carried in?
So vitamin A's or retinoids are usually going to be in creams.
Okay.
They do have gels as well. Gels are going to be a little bit more intense because of just how it's carried into the skin. Creams are going to be a little bit less intense, but that's completely different depending on the type of vitamin A you have.
Sure.
So there's tons of different retinoids that we can go into. Retinol is the most popular over-the-counter that they have. And now today they even have new ones like adapalene. Those are used mostly in products like Differin for acne specifically. There's some other new ones that I'm not even completely familiar with, and they're continuing to come out with new stuff all the time. But yes, you can find them in creams, gels, even sometimes serums. And they're all equally as impressive. It just changes on the type you get. So when you get into prescription formulas like tretinoin, which you have to have a prescription for, those you can see results a lot faster, just because you're putting retinoic acid essentially directly on your skin, which is what the skin actually utilizes.
Wow.
Yeah, so when you do that, you can obviously get results a bit faster.
Sure.
But not everybody can handle something like that.
Yeah.
So some people like retinol, some people even like less irritating versions where you then come into ester forms, retinol acetate, retinol palmitate. These are more stable versions that have a little bit more conversions to do down the line in your skin, but they're less irritating most of the time for most people. So if you can't handle retinol or any other forms of vitamin A, those can be very useful. But of course, since they are more stable and less irritating, means they're a little bit less effective. It's going to take you a little bit longer to get that result that you're looking for, but they do work.
And the same for vitamin C. Is that typically in creams and stuff?
Vitamin C's are going to be in serums most of the time.
Okay.
So you'll get a vitamin C serum. Most of the time, they're all pretty similar. The concentrations are usually anywhere from 10 to 20% vitamin C. 10 or 15% is a really good range to stay in. They usually always have vitamin E and ferulic acid included with it, because together those kind of stabilize each other and they'll recycle each other to make them work a lot longer and be a lot more effective.
That's cool.
Again, with vitamin C's though, there's tons of different forms of vitamin C's today, and they continue to make new forms. You can't really go wrong with any of the forms that you get. Some are a little bit more effective than others. Some people have opinions about which one's the best. When you were on your topicals, was tretinoin one of your topicals you used?
It was so long ago. I don't remember the names, but I feel like that sounds familiar, so it probably was.
Yeah, that is a popular to try out for
Yeah.
acne because of it is help to speed up the skin cycle a lot, which can help with acne and scarring and all of the above. How often would you say that you break out now?
It's typically hormonally, so like
Okay.
I would say once a month it gets extra nice and speckled on my face. And thankfully it's nothing awful. It's not like it's my whole face. It's like 5 zits, which I will take that over what it used to be. But it's typically like once a month, and I'm like, okay, well, something's coming.
Yeah.
And then by the time my period's over, it's like, okay, we're back to normal. So it's typically hormonally.
And it usually
charged.
starts that week before.
Yeah.
That's common.
Yep.
That week before, when that progesterone goes up, is usually when things can get problematic for the skin. But once the estrogen kicks back in, your skin's gonna start looking real good again. Usually by day 8 to 10, your skin should be looking real nice. And then by like day 13, 14, 15 is when it's like peaking.
Every now and again, I'll get a pretty bad cystic zit. The one like underneath my lip right now is one of those.
Just giving you trouble.
It thankfully, this is like on the healing side of it, but I'll just get like, it's one at a time, and they are huge and they're stubborn, and they take forever to go away. But then once it's gone, then it'll be like a month or two, and then I have a break.
Yeah. And do you have any products that you use
So
when you have breakouts like that?
those are so stubborn that I kind of just have to wait. And while it's probably not ideal, draining them is the only way that they ever go away. So typically having to, I don't know the nicer word for it, but poking it poking it with the small needle and then draining it. And I typically have to drain it like 5 times before it starts to go down in size. They're very stubborn, and they're typically pretty deep underneath my skin. So they're very hard to get to go away. It's not like a little white head. And once they get a little bit smaller and it looks a little bit more like a normal zit, I have the what are they called? The hero patches, mighty hero patches. Those can help sometimes, but not if they're super deep. It just depends how close they are to my skin, or like the top of my skin.
Yeah.
So
very fair. Do you have any benzoyl peroxide treatments?
I don't. Do you recommend that?
So yeah, that would be your best bet when it's that deep and there's that much going on. Benzoyl peroxide or a sulfur, both of those could be very helpful. Benzoyl peroxide, or also known as BPO, is very useful because it can travel a little bit deeper in the skin, and it can really kill the bacteria for something that's deeper
cool.
like that.
Yeah.
it's very useful, but used too often or used too much can dry out the skin a lot, and it can slow down that healing process. So
Sure.
you have to use it sparingly, and you have to use it in the right context. You can't just put on everything. You have to, like, those ones that are really big that pop up, those are the ones that you hit it.
Yeah.
And you can hit it several times.
Yeah.
And then just give it some time. So, like, when it first is coming up, like when you feel it, because I know you can usually feel them coming up.
Yeah.
Go ahead, put it on twice a day. And then give it a little bit of time. See how it progresses. It usually will slow it down. It won't completely stop it if it's coming up that intense. But it'll slow it down. It'll make it less dramatic, and it will speed up the recovery time for it because it's not gonna have to go to that full cycle.
That's great.
You won't have to drain it as much most of the time, and it's just gonna be a lot better.
That's really helpful.
Yes, and I'll show you some because I have a really, 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 really good BPO product.
I would love that.
It's like amazing. I use it full face sometimes, like after I shave, because I usually get not so much ingrown hairs, just like my skin gets irritated.
Me too. It sucks.
And and so I use a lot of different things during the times when I shave.
Yeah.
But if it's really bad, I'll mix a little bit of that BPO.
That's great.
With my my moisturizer, and it just gives you a great antibacterial little veil on your skin, and helps your skin heal up a little bit faster. Now, this is a charcoal mask, and I know I said charcoal can be a little bit too much, but this mask here has some really amazing ingredients in it, including lactic acid and lactobionic acid. Lactic's great for drawing moisture to the skin, so it's going to be very helpful for actually hydrating your skin. And the base of this is the hydrating base, so it does have that charcoal in it to clarify your skin and really purify it, but it's in like a very hydrating formula. So like you'll notice after we're done, like your skin's not going to feel tight or anything like that, but it's going to feel very clean but very hydrated still. It's an amazing mask, amazing formulation. It's one of my favorites.
When you said that, I'm pretty sure the exfoliant that I have is lactic acid. Is that an exfoliant?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's what's in it because when you said that, it like reminded
it's like
me.
Ding ding ding.
Yeah.
Yes, lactic acid's great, and that is pretty beneficial for your skin. While it's on the more sensitive or drier side. A salicylic could be great for your skin too, as you have some more congestion and things like that. Salicylic is the only acid really that's going to break down oil. Lactic is a water soluble, so it's not going to break down any of the oil or anything like that. It does definitely exfoliate your skin, but it can't clean out your pores quite like a salicylic acid can do. But then when you're doing that, of course, it can be over drying, over stripping, because you are pulling oil from the skin. So you just have to be careful once again there. Usually I'll recommend salicylic in like a cleanser and only use it a couple times a week. As you can tell, this mask is pretty thick, so it's quite a mask to apply. Do you feel any sensation at all with this?
Just feels calm.
Okay, perfect. I'm just gonna work it into your skin a little bit. Okay, now you're gonna feel a little spray. This is going to activate the mask a little bit more.
That smells good too.
It smells so lovely. And this is gonna be a little cold. good.
What kind of light is it that you use?
So that one is, it's called Saluma's the brand, and the setting we had you on was acne setting, so it was a dominant blue light.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's gonna be more good for your surface issues and killing P. acne bacteria, things like that. So great for the breakouts, inflammation it can help with, on the surface at least. Psoriasis, eczema, those kind of surface issues, blue light is great for.
I have eczema too.
Perfect. It does have a little red light in there as well, so it does help to heal on a deeper level as well. And then there's some near infrared too, which is good for muscles, aches and pains, things like that. I just gave you some vitamin C there.
Awesome.
So we'll get you nice and prepped. Your skin looks amazing. Just looks so much healthier.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, after 60 minutes, it's not going to be a miracle worker.
It feels amazing, though.
Yes, you could get the skin in a lot healthier state in these 60 minutes. We just have to keep up with it. So we're going to talk a lot after this and get some things that we really, really need, okay?
I think everybody needs to come get a facial by you. Did Anita get to come before she started her?
She did.
She did? Good.
She's came twice, actually.
Oh, good.
Yes. I'm so happy for her.
She told us that she has so much trouble, like, being still and just enjoying. And she said whenever she had a facial by you, she's like, I just wanted to lay there. I just wanted to keep. It was so sweet.
That made me so happy to be able to be that for her.
That's a big compliment to you and what you do. Does her sister come here too, or has she not come yet?
Amber, she used to come to me actually all the time.
Oh, wow.
Back when I very first opened the face space, she was like regular every month. When she got pregnant though with the youngest one, she was coming, and then she had to stop coming after a bit because it was just a lot for her to lay down.
Oh, yeah.
For all that time, and then she's just kind of been busy ever since.
Yeah.
But yes, I think she's coming in soon.
That's awesome. She's so sweet too.
And of course, we have to give you some SPF. Could not let you leave her without it.
What's your go-to for SPF, just for daily wear?
My go-to would be the Circadia one.
Okay.
Here. They have two different ones now, actually. They have a physical, which uses zinc oxide instead of chemical sunscreens. And then there's this one that has the chemical sunscreens in it. They're both really, really nice. I just like this one a little bit more for facials because it gives you a nice glow and it's really hydrating. The newer one, the physical one, is not in a backwear size yet, so I don't use it in my facials quite yet, but I do use that one at home.
That's awesome.
My skin responds a bit better to physicals, sunscreens rather than chemical sunscreens, so I do usually opt for that.
My skin feels amazing. Oh my gosh.
So good. And then last but not least, you cannot forget about your lips.
That's a trouble area for me too.
Especially this season. The weather changing and cold and hot and cold and dry and humid and dry. It's just a lot going on. But this is an amazing lip product that will keep you nice and moisturized.
Every time I think, okay, my lips aren't chapped, then they get chapped again. And I'm like, gosh dang it.
And you are all finished.
Oh my goodness, that was a dream.
How's
you want me
your
to lift
skin
my
feeling?
hand so you can get that out?
Yes,
It feels
there you go.
incredible. Oh my gosh. I feel so healthy and nourished.
I love
it. Oh my goodness.
Okay.